Yeah. What you know about bench mob? They're speaking the facts that you wanna hear. That rapper jersey, the vision is clear. Diamonds glisten like a chandelier. You know what I'm here for, like Marshawn Lynch. At clutch time, we do not flinch. Real brothers, we do not switch. Hit home runs with the right pitch. Who run the city? What to do when they hating on you? I feel like Kobe 2010. Taking an L, all I need is a win. Business is business, you know how they go. They clearing the seats, now it's time to grow. Tune in now, gotta be in the know. Showtime, bitch, my about to blow. We know.
That's a terrible
Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Podcast. We are back for a late night one. When y'all see this, y'all won't know, but this right now is 2:00 in the morning and we are recording. We just really built different. We love this thing, man. I'm joined, I can't say tonight, I'm joined this morning by Chris Moneybags, who upgraded from the first ever iPhone that Moses used to write down the 10 Commandments.
You capping.
How you feeling today?
Feeling good, man. You know, throughout that iPhone 8 Plus, you know, I had to cop that 12 Pro Max, that Pacific Blue. I know y'all see it. Thing doing me nice right now, man. It's doing me nice. I love that full screen, but yeah, man. Yo, these selfies about to start hitting though, for real. I might have to start posting on the gram again because this camera crazy.
What are you doing, bro? You don't give free advertisement on the show, bro. We got no bread. Apple not giving us no bread.
I ain't say Apple, nor did I say my service provider. I said, you're right.
You just show that.
I did show it. I showed the Apple symbol, right?
You're not getting no bread. You're not touching no bread.
You moved it close to the screen so you could tell.
You Apple. Everybody saw the silhouette.
Silhouette challenge. Joined also this morning by Miles, the heavily excited man that is on a 5-game winning streak for the New York Knicks. Julius Randle for MVP. How you doing tonight? This morning, my bad.
I'm doing good. We one of the hottest teams in the league, so we want all the smoke. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Y'all got Bobby Shmurda as your chaplain?
No.
Y'all been playing well since he's been home. I think y'all got like over the last 25 games since he's been home, y'all like 22-3.
Nah, you gassing.
Murder. And of course, we are joined by the infamous, the most loved/hated person on the show, Greg, Debate Your Mother Sins Man. Hot takes. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I love how you do this in there. You know, I'm happy he said that too, because he put a poll when I was talking about Bron and why dudes leaving the East. And Antonio worded the question in a way where it make it seem like I was wrong about what I was saying on purpose, bro. He made it seem, I don't remember how you worded the question, but that's not what I said in the clip at all. That's not what I said at all, Miles. At all. I swear on everything I love. That's not what I said.
You be putting yourself in those positions though.
How?
You ever seen him do that to Miles and I? That's because you becoming real aggressive, and it make it easy to do that.
You needed the aggression, bro.
I have no problem with your aggression. I do that to gain their attention. They fall for it every time, so it worked. They end up watching the clip and be like, "Oh, that's nothing to do with it," but they already got upset. They already sent a DM. They already voted and said, "No, Greg's drunk." It's all about gaining engagement. We're trying to get our first sponsor. We're trying to get this bread. So y'all keep feeding into it. Greg is doing a great job. He's our Stephen A of the show. He's very good at drawing y'all in for y'all not to be right. Greg, before we even start on our docket, is LaMarcus Aldridge a Hall of Famer? Shout out to him for making that grown-up decision to not play with putting health over the game of basketball. And we saw plenty of times players that wouldn't do that. Shoot, Chris Bosh was still, if somebody were able to sign him, he would come back today. Chris Bosh was still trying to come back and putting ball over health. So Is he a Hall of Famer in your eyes?
I've been debating this all day because his Blazers stretch was incredible. And most people don't remember. I forgot he played with Dame early on in Dame's career. I actually forget those days. LaMarcus was incredible. Do I think he's in the Hall of Famer? No. I don't think at one point he was the best power forward in the league. He may have been. I think it was a time where he was top 5 power forwards in the league. But is that what we're doing it off of? I mean, he's a trailblazer, Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame guy. There, you can retire number 12 there. But if you're the standard for Hall of Fame for me is, were you the best at your position or top 2 at your position and considered a superstar in your era? Were you considered a superstar? And I don't think at any point in his career was he considered a superstar. He's considered a star, an all-star, very good player, but never a superstar. So the bar is high. So no, he was never a superstar, but he had an amazing career. It's okay. Not everybody's gonna be a Hall of Famer, and that's fine. That's not me taking away from what he accomplished. He was incredible. He's an all-time great Blazer. He would be the greatest Blazer of all time if Damian Lillard didn't exist, but he does. So, hey, man. And I know people want to talk about some Bill Walton. Look at Miles. You got the bubbles about Miles. How do you think about Bill Walton right now?
I wasn't. I was thinking like Clyde Drexler would he be?
No.
I was thinking Clyde too.
No.
I was thinking Clyde Drexler.
Clyde could no. You see, that's the thing too, son. Like Clyde's got the fact that he played a long time ago on his side. I'm not saying he wasn't a good player or even a great one, but come on, son. Let's not do this. Let's not do this whole 90s versus now. Dame is so much better than Clyde.
Oh, we agree on that.
No, yeah. But I'm saying he's not better than LaMarcus isn't better.
Oh, are you saying LaMarcus? I think LaMarcus is better than Clyde.
Well, look, if LaMarcus stayed there, he could have been in the same situation as Clyde. No ring, and just would have been a nice little story in Portland. That's it. So it would have been the same thing. And then in that case, then we're going to put the stats next to each other, and Clyde blows him out the water.
He left and got no ring. LaMarcus, no?
He would have got no ring. If he played the rest of the season, he would have got no ring.
All right, relax.
It'd have been no ring.
You're doing a lot.
Like, it's a common theme here. Portland, no ring. San Antonio, no ring. Brooklyn, no ring. He has 1 ring, though. He's married. So that's the most important ring you can get in life for everybody that's watching the show. That's a very important ring.
First of all, you're right. Absolutely. It's a big ring. Are you guys agree with him not being a Hall of Famer? What do you guys feel about it?
I agree. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he's been solid, like really good for most of his career, but like you said, he's never really taken that next step to like taking over games and leading his team solely on his shoulders to success. Like even those Portland years, he had a young Dame right by his side. I don't know. Did he play with Brandon Roy back then too? I'm wondering.
He played with him.
So even then, even then, like that's another guy whose career got cut short. But even then, he wasn't the best guy on his team. So, I mean, not everybody's going to make the Hall of Fame. So we can't just – that's always going to be the debate when somebody retires. Like, oh, is this guy a Hall of Famer? Is he not? It's like probably not. Like he doesn't have any rings to show for it, a couple All-Star appearances. I mean, he just fell short of 20,000 points, but all that doesn't equate to like being a Hall of Famer. He might be a Hall of Famer at some point down the road, like one of those old timers who waits 40 years to get in, but he's not going to make it like first ballot.
Yeah, I can only echo what you guys are saying, but like we gotta stop equating someone's NBA career based on the Hall of Fame, right? You know, just because you don't make the Hall of Fame doesn't mean you didn't have a great NBA career, and he's one of those guys that is an example that had a great NBA career, but he's not a Hall of Fame player. That's cool. You know, there's going to be few and far between that are going to be Hall of Fame players. Like you got to be, like Greg said, you got to be elite. You got to be the best at your position, and you have to be, you know, pretty much the best in your era. So that's not many guys, and that's why, you know, the guys that do get into the Hall of Fame are the elite ones.
Hall of Fame isn't a participation trophy. So look, everybody can't get in. This it's like a club. It's like when you go to the club, the pretty girls get in and the other girls have to stay out. Transitioning, we talk about Hall of Fame. We talk about great players and performing in the playoffs, and Aldridge did not live up to expectations, I guess you can say. One player that we talked about last episode that we have to talk about, Matthew Stafford. Greg could play back the exact clip, which, you know, when we get our sponsors, we'll have the technology to do so, like on a first take. He said Matthew Stafford, he would take over Kyler Murray right now. So we're going to start off and give you the floor. Explain to us why you believe Matthew Stafford is a better option than Kyler Murray today, present.
Hold up, that's so interesting because this whole time I was thinking about it today. I'm like, yo, Greg really said, I thought he said the opposite. I thought he said he was going to take Kyler Murray over Matthew Stafford. So I'm like, I'm sitting here trying to think like, what would make him think that? The sample size is smaller, but go ahead, Greg.
Sample size is smaller, but I just feel like when you combine the level of experience that Stafford's had in the league, which is experience is really, really important as a quarterback in the NFL. I think everybody can agree to that. So experience matters. Kyler Murray hasn't hit that rookie wall. He's a great player. He's going to be a great player in the league for a long time, and he could end up being better than Stafford down the line. But talking about next year, who I'm taking Stafford. Stafford has seen more defenses in the NFL. He's seen defenses try to confuse him. He's been around the corner. And also, beyond the experience part, he's not washed. He's a guy who can still go out there and rip that ball 60, 70 yards through the air. There are not many guys who have the same level of arm talent as him. And Kyler Murray's got a great arm, but I don't know that his arm's better than Matthew Stafford's. I would probably take Stafford's arm over his arm. He's mobile in the pocket. He knows how to avoid the rush. He's tough as nails. I'm sure we've all seen that clip of him from NFL films where he gets his shoulder popped out of his socket. He goes down and leads him to a touchdown anyways. He's tough as nails. He's tough too. And so he's made up all the right stuff. He just played for a bad organization where we couldn't see it, you know, and so we should knock him for that. He's great. He's a really, really great player. Last year he had a couple no-look passes. He reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. He really does. He's a lot of Aaron Rodgers in him, but we just don't see it on display because he played in sorry Detroit. And so I feel bad for him, but not getting to go to LA and getting a chance to go throw to receivers like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and guys like that, right? Like he's gonna have a chance to do some really special things. They have a really good run game there too. He's not only is he a better quarterback than Kyler Murray right now, he's in a better position than Kyler Murray right now to do some serious damage next year. So there's that too. But the arm talent's better for me. The experience factor is big for me with him. And on top of that, the guy's been a leader for the longest time. You don't hear guys complain about playing with Matthew Stafford. That's never been the complaint. The issues in Detroit, there were a ton of them. Matthew Stafford never came up in that conversation at any point. I never remember people saying he was a problem. That guy's been great since he got there. Detroit should have nothing but love for him. And LA should be celebrating because I think that they could win a Super Bowl with him for sure. And he's made up all the right stuff. He's led game-winning drives. I really don't think he was any of the issue they had. Like, really. He kept running into Aaron Rodgers when he was in the same division as him, which most guys are going to fall short to Aaron Rodgers. But he's just about there in terms of talent. So I'm going with him right now. But Kyler Murray's an ascending player. And Matthew Stafford is at the peak of his prime. He's at the peak of his power. So that's why I'm going Matthew Stafford right now as a better quarterback. But that's just my take on it. Just think
so you think LA is going to win a Super Bowl this year? So you're picking them over Tampa Bay. You're picking them over Green Bay.
Oh, LA is definitely better than Tampa Bay. Oh, yeah. 100%. Hey, I don't know, yo. I know I'm not sitting there laughing for. I'm so serious. LA is better than Tampa Bay, bro. Quarterback, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady.
So you just mentioned, right? So you just mentioned experience. So what about that part? They have a quarterback that's been to the Super Bowl multiple times, been to the playoffs, deep runs multiple times.
Yeah.
Stafford can't have that same conversation. Aaron Rodgers been to the playoffs multiple times, won a Super Bowl. You thinking that first year they're gonna be able to get to the Super Bowl and win it?
Let's talk about this. Hold on. What are the Packers gonna get better? Have the Packers made serious improvements since last year? They resigned the biggest story of their offseason is they resigned their running back. That they were thinking hard about not signing almost. They brought him back. They brought back Jones. That's it. That's all they've done. They haven't done Aaron Rodgers any favors. They used the first round pick on Jordan Love. They could have gotten a guy like Brandon Ayuk, who's on the 49ers now, and got him wide receiver. They didn't do that. So I mean, Now, hopefully this year they do that. There'll be plenty of wide receivers to go around. Hopefully this year they do that for him. I don't think they will. They're gonna go dress like they're gonna get like a center or something. It's Wisconsin. You like big guys out there. It's cold. Like they're gonna do something like that. Like that's what.
So what about Tampa? So
Tampa's reloaded. They brought back all their guys, but Tom Brady's another year older. I'm not playing this game with Tom Brady, bro. No, I don't look like that because you know what? He's 40. What is he? 43 now? He's 43.
Don't matter. It don't matter.
No, it matters. Okay, we're not talking about LeBron. We're talking about Tom Brady. This man is not the athlete that LeBron is. Let's not have that conversation. Yes, Tom Brady deserves credit. He's been incredible. He has the experience factor. He's been in the playoffs. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm saying that right now. But if you ask me who's better, who I'm taking next season, it's a lot of quarterbacks I'm taking over Tom Brady next season. It's a lot. I'm taking Matthew Stafford. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. I'm probably taking Josh Allen next year.
Who are you taking to win though? Like if you want a quarterback to build around and win next year.
Well, for what? For 1 year?
Yeah. Like that's what Tampa Bay did last year. They brought him in and they X'd out Jameis Winston, and you saw the big difference that made.
Yeah, because Tom didn't come in the game and throw 50 interceptions. But yeah, it was addition by subtraction. Look, they could have traded for Matthew Stafford and won a Super Bowl at that time.
No. It's Tom Brady, though. It's Tom Brady.
Hold on. All right, let's have a hard conversation about Tom Brady real quick. So, Tom definitely helped them last year. Was he the reason why they won the Super Bowl? The sole reason? Because this conversation really has been bothering me, bro. It's not sitting right in my spirit.
But when is it ever just solely on the quarterback, though? There's always other factors.
All we ever hear about is the quarterback. We don't hear about Shaq Barrett. We don't hear about JPP. We don't hear about the defensive line, how great they were. We don't hear about the fact that they played against.
That's a lie. That's a lie, bro. They talk about Shaq Barrett so much this past season.
Who? What were you watching?
Bro, everybody. They talk about Shaq Barrett, his defense. He had, what, the second most sacks? So what was it, 22 and a half sacks?
I don't know if it was that many sacks. I mean, and he had a lot of sacks. He had a great season. But I'm saying all I ever hear about is Tom Brady. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he was the center point of the story because he was going for, what was it, 6th, 7th ring? I don't even know how many rings the guy got anymore. Like,
he's the reason why they won the ring. I can tell you wholeheartedly no. In that Saints game, he was not that good. In that Packers game, he was not good.
Nah, their defense balled out all season.
Huh?
Their defense balled out all season.
So their defense and the fact that they surrounded him with pieces all year and they had a really good run game. In fact, if you guys remember, they were struggling when they were throwing the ball earlier this season. It's not until they went to the run game with Rojo and Leonard Fournette that they turned it around. It wasn't about Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the ultimate game manager this year. He was a game manager. Can we just admit it? He's a game manager.
So this didn't factor in the whole COVID and limited time in the offseason and guys not knowing anybody, so the chemistry was off. That didn't factor in at all.
Tom Brady looking old at times has nothing to do with how much time.
He still threw like 36 touchdowns, though.
Yes, Tom Brady's incredible. But hey, listen, bro, if you give anybody a great O-line, Tristan Wirfs was one of the best left tackles in football as a rookie. Like there are a lot of things that factor into that guy's success. There just are. Okay, thing that it really all clicked for them. Okay, he had 36 TDs, yes, but when you give me Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota, the steal they got, when you draft well too, when you get all these pieces, what was he supposed to do? What was he? Anything less would have been a disappointment. He was the ultimate game manager. I mean, there are a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL who could have gone out there and thrown 36 touchdowns to that receiving core. Period. For real. Like
this is where it's different now. So we could plug in, for example, Dak and he would have thrown 36 touchdowns. But the thing is that with Tom Brady, as you have said, the experience. Tom Brady just knows how to win at this point, whether he's a game manager, he knows how to win. And Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Danny Doms, they don't know how to win yet.
I don't like how you just said that. As much as I love Daniel Jones, he has nothing to do with this conversation. And Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford don't belong in the same sentence. Because Matthew Stafford is significantly better than him.
Tone crazy.
Yeah, you see what he did? Yeah, we'll get to Daniel Jones, but the conversation revolves around Matthew Stafford and guys of that talent level. We talking about guys like Kirk Cousins getting into the playoffs and things like that, right? With the Vikings. What do you think Matthew Stafford really about to do this year, bro? It's about to be crazy. Just stay healthy. Teams stay healthy. They're gonna be dangerous. But Tom Brady conversation is a whole different one, bro. He's a glorified game manager. That's what he is.
Speaking of health, you mentioned a run game. Cam Akers got injured actually twice last year, had to be sidelined a couple games. So he needs to be healthy for that run game for Matthew Stafford. Stafford, 0-3 career and postseason starts. His postseason, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the playoffs. We'll see what happens. We mentioned a bunch of quarterbacks just now. Dak. We mentioned Danny Dimes. We mentioned everybody. We're going to transition. What is, because of this conversation, it kind of, just stirred up. Who are our top 10 quarterbacks going into this season? So, Chris, you started off. Who your top 10 quarterbacks in order, 1 to 10?
All right, I'm gonna go Mahomes.
You start at 10 and go up to 1, however you want to do it.
I'm gonna go Mahomes at number 1. Just with everything he's done over the past 2 seasons. I'm gonna go Rodgers at number 2. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Who I got at number 3? I'm gonna go Brady at number 3. I gotta go Brady at number 3. And I'm going based off what he's done in his career. I know he's getting old, Greg. I know you're sitting there rolling your eyes, but based off him coming off that Super Bowl win last year and him still looking like he can play another 3-4 years, I'm gonna put Brady at number 3. I'm gonna go Russell Wilson at number 4. Just because I think he's spectacular too. Regardless, I'm talking about when I'm giving this list, I'm talking about individual talent. I'm not talking about the O-line that they have coming into the season. I'm talking about what they've done over the past few years and how they're gonna how I still think they can play. So we got Russell Wilson at number 4. We got I'll probably put Watson at number 5.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Watson at number 5. I'm gonna put Watson at number 5. Number 6, I'm gonna go Josh Allen. Number 7, I'm gonna go. Oh, see, now it's getting tough. Number 7, I'm gonna go Matthew Stafford. Number 8, a big part of me wants to put Lamar up there. I'm gonna lock Lamar in at number 8. Number 9, this is where it gets tough. Number 9, I'm probably gonna put. This is gonna be controversial. I'm gonna put Cam. I'm gonna put Cam at number 9. And then number 10. I'm trying to. I'm really trying to think, because I'm trying to think who I'm missing. Because I know there's got to be somebody that I'm missing.
You say Russell Wilson already?
Yes.
Yeah, so I said Russell Wilson at number 4. I'm gonna put Dak at number 10.
All right, we're gonna run down the list. Chris has Mahomes number 1, Aaron Rodgers number 2, Tom Brady number 3. We have Russell Wilson number 4, Deshaun Watson 5, Josh Allen 6, Matthew Stafford 7, Lamar Jackson at 8, Cam Newton at 9, and Dak Prescott at 10 to round it out.
Yo, listening back to that, that's a crazy list. that's yo, Miles is funny as hell. But that's crazy though, bro. I feel like the first 6 picks were solid. I mean, because that's gonna change by preference, but it's not like I said, fucking throw Ben Roethlisberger at number 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not even in the top 10. Go ahead though. Let's hear it, Miles. Go ahead.
Let's hear this.
With your greasy self.
Yo, chill. So my number one guy, I'm gonna put Rodgers. I think that with what he's been given to go out on the field with, especially like you said, they took Jordan Love when they could have surrounded him with more talent, but instead they took a quarterback preparing for his drop off, which that might not be for another 10 years at this point. I think that he's the best quarterback in the league right now. And of course, second, I got Mahomes.
My homie.
Mahomes, he's talented. He's got probably the best core of weapons in the league, or one of them at least. So, but he is talented. Number 3, let me see. Of course, I got to go with Tom Brady against Greg's best wishes because he probably has him at 15 or something. But you can't knock winning. Like Tom Brady just wins every year. Clearly, it's not the system. So
you see what's happening here, though. Like our number 2, my first 2 picks and your first 2 picks are reversed, and we both had Tom Brady locked in at 3. So stop acting like I'm crazy, but keep going.
No, I'm not acting like you crazy about that.
All right. We will keep going down the list. Keep going.
Number 4, Russell Wilson, of course. He should have 2 Super Bowl rings, but Pete Carroll stay holding him back. Deshaun, clearly he's a top 5 quarterback. If he had a better record and more weapons, I'd put him top 3, honestly, because he's that talented. He's probably right up there with Rodgers and Mahomes is the most talented quarterback in the league right now. 6, hopefully it's not a one-year fluke, but I think Josh Allen, he made a big leap this year. 7, I think I'm going to have to go with Stafford. I'm going to rock with Stafford at 7.
Bro, we got the same order right now from 3 through 7. So
yeah, I definitely have one guy who's probably not in my top 20 on your list.
Dude,
number 8, I got Dak. Number 8. I think that people sleep on him. He's not as bad as you think. Like he's won majority of his career, and I think he's only going to get better from here.
Record against top 500 teams. Against 500 teams. What's his record?
Are we looking in the past now, Greg? You just gonna cut me off? You got your list in a little bit. We'll hear it. Number 9. This might be the controversial one. I think Justin Herbert. I'm gonna put him number 9. I think that
I like that. That's
his
bold.
rookie year, probably one of the best we've seen from a quarterback just coming into the league. And one, he didn't start the season as the starting quarterback. If not for a punctured lung, he might have sat a little longer, but I don't want to get Greg started, but that season was crazy last year. Like Justin Herbert came into the league just lighting it on fire, and he looked like the best quarterback in that draft class last year. And no offense, Chris, but and then number 10, I'm gonna put Kyler. I'm gonna put Kyler Murray there. I think that he's another ascending player that he's so dynamic. Like I think he's way more dynamic than Lamar is, honestly. That's not a hot take to me. I think that he's more dynamic than Lamar.
Who? Justin Herbert?
No. I'm talking about Kyler Murray.
Okay.
That's controversial.
I think he's more dynamic. I think that he might not be a better runner than him, but we know that Lamar is very limited as a passer. So I definitely give him the nod over him in that category. That's my top 10.
So we're going to go back. Rodgers, Mahomes, Brady, Wilson, Watson at 5, Josh Allen at 6, Stafford at 7, Dak at 8, Herbert at 9, Kyler Murray at 10, no Lamar Jackson, and no Cam Newton a part of his list. Greg, your top 10.
Cam is not top 10 anymore.
Yeah. I'm going off of hope for what I can see from him this season.
If you're doing by projection, this whole list is different then.
Yeah.
We're doing it by merit, right?
We're doing it by merit. He was my hope though. For he was the exception. Go ahead though.
Yeah, it's based off of merit. Top 10 quarterbacks that we see right now. Obviously, we can't really project it because we don't even know who got drafted and whatnot, who's going to be in a position and have more weapons, all that. So right now, top 10.
My top 10: Aaron Rodgers, number 1. Patrick Mahomes, number 2. I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson at the 3 spot. I'm gonna go with Deshaun Watson at the 4 spot. Okay, all right. Like don't look like that. All right, Deshaun Watson at the 4 spot. And then we're gonna go from there. I think Tom would round out the top 5. To be quite frank, I think Tom makes the top 5. Just off the experience piece and the weapons he has around him. So that we'll do that. And then from there we're gonna go. This is tough. I really think Matthew Stafford's gonna crack this list here. Matthew Stafford's gonna be my 6th spot. Matthew Stafford. And this is where the list gets tough because you think about all the quarterbacks in the NFL. That was Josh Allen yet? Josh Allen's my quarterback here at the 7th spot. At the 8th, God, it's crazy. At the 8, I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson. Just all the talent piece of it alone. They can get wide receiver, things could look a little different. At the 9, I'll go Kyler Murray. I like Kyler Murray a lot. Obviously super talented. And at my 10, 10 spot's probably the hardest spot to fill, to be quite honest with you. At 10, I know I heard Herbert in there. Herbert's a nice choice. I'd probably go the same way, honestly. I think Herbert is going to be really, really good for a long time for the Chargers. So I'll go Herbert at 10.
All right, going back off of your list, we got Rodgers, Mahomes, Wilson, Watson, Brady to round out the top 5, Stafford, Allen, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, and Justin Herbert as the final 5 for your list. My list goes like this: Patty Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, Tom Brady, singles out my top 5. Josh Allen at 6, Lamar Jackson at 7, Dak at 8, Kyler Murray at 9, Justin Herbert at 10.
If I left Dak out of mine, who got in mine?
You have over yours Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Stafford. I don't have Stafford on my list.
Oh, okay. You're not a big Stafford guy. Okay. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, Stafford, everybody's list but mine. There's Cam in only one list.
Hey, you lucky I ain't say Baker, bro.
Woof. I think that would have been better.
Yeah. Here's all I gotta say about this, yo. Make sure you post Chris's top 10 so you get some comments. Don't
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You gotta be equal opportunity with this hate stuff, bro.
Go ahead.
Oh, it's times when we post hot takes from other people, it still don't get the same energy you get. You get a different type of hate, bro.
It's really true. Chris said, yo, it's so true. Chris says that, and they're gonna just be like, yo, what Greg said this time? He's gonna
yeah. Yo, I'll tell you this though. The one person who I didn't mention that's not on this list that will be in next year's conversation for this list.
Don't say Trevor Lawrence.
Joe Burrow. Trevor Lawrence, come on, man. We ain't talking about sunshine.
Hey,
we're not doing this.
Let's get to. We'll talk about this because this is gonna be cool. The back end of this top 10 makes me really, really optimistic for my guy. That's all I'm gonna say.
For Danny Dimes?
Makes me very optimistic.
If he has a good season, yeah. Yo, you act like we think he's a bad quarterback, and that's not the case.
Because you be saying Greg, you be saying, oh, he's a top 5 quarterback in this league because you be talking out your ass.
I never said that. Don't you misquote me again?
Nah,
that's literally
you be
slander.
saying that. Nah, you be saying that. You be like, yo, give him 2 years, he gonna win a Super Bowl. Like what?
I literally never said that. I said give him.
You liar. Yo.
I never said that.
Miles, back me up, bro.
I said he can win a Super Bowl. Yo, you can run back the tape. You can run back the tape, bro. I said he can win a Super Bowl down the line. I also said that in that after this season, he'll be considered a better quarterback than Josh Allen. That's what I said. I don't think it's not an incredibly high bar.
So that's borderline top 5.
That's top 7 or 8.
We all had Josh Allen at 7. I think Greg had him or somebody had him at 6. So yeah, 7. I mean, I
had him at 7. I think.
Yeah, Greg 7. Everybody outside of Greg had Josh Allen at 6.
Okay.
He's in everybody's top 5. Obviously, Rodgers and Mahomes. That's the same, interchangeable for everybody. So
it's so funny. I don't have Josh Allen over Tom Brady in my top 10 for all the reasons that I think that Daniel Jones will ultimately be better than him for.
Yeah, but why do you think that? Like, what has Josh Allen done to make you think like, Daniel Jones is gonna be easy for him to surpass him? Like,
I'm not saying
Josh Allen had a great year last year, and he can do more with the ball than Daniel Jones can. Yeah, they can both run, but like, yeah, you see Daniel Jones running over anybody? Absolutely not. You see him diving it.
I seen Daniel Jones run over dudes. No BS.
Not on purpose.
That's on purpose.
He
trucked the Redskins safety.
Said I'm mad at.
Trucked the Redskins safety. Go watch the tape. He trucked the Redskins safety. I'll never forget that play. I was surprised by it. I didn't see that shit. Yo. Daniel Jones is gonna be more accurate in football. He's a better finesse thrower than Josh Allen is. He layers his throws better. He's better. He has more touch in the intermediate game, and his deep ball he's a better natural deep ball thrower. Just because you throw the ball hard and far doesn't mean you're a great deep ball thrower. That just means you can throw it a long way. A lot of dudes can go throw a football a long way. Are you good? Are you naturally good with accuracy down the field? Do you throw the ball with touch and finesse? Daniel Jones is one of the best throwers of the football in the league, bro. Just wait. I cannot wait till I'm right about this because when I'm right about it, I'm not gonna hear the end.
How sick are you gonna be though if he has a horrible year this year though?
He won't.
Because we running all this back.
He won't.
Post after post, right?
When the Giants draft Devontae Smith and he's loaded, we'll see. Get back to me then. Because on draft night, I'm losing my mind. Are we live on draft night?
Yeah,
we should be.
That's like a 4-hour show. Damn.
We sent first round only. First round.
Yeah, first round, 4 hours.
I have to make sure I get to Pittsburgh in time. I have to make sure I get to Pittsburgh around the time the show starts. I know I'm gonna be on the road, but no matter what, I'm on. Just wait. They draft Devontae Smith. It's up. It's up.
Hey, yo, if you watch this, we gonna have to connect. Cardi, we be showing you a lot of love on this show, bro.
Up and it's stuck.
Mm-hmm. Cardi, we gonna have to have some type of collaboration. We gonna have to do a music video with the Bench Mob or something, bro.
Hey, what'd she say? It's big bags busting out the Bentley Vantega.
Facts. Somebody else that's getting some big bags and continues to keep getting big bags. Jadevon Clowney was signed by the Browns. He got another 1-year contract, $8 million, with incentives can go up to $10 million guaranteed. What does this mean for Cleveland?
I think it's a good signing, only because it's not. I mean, I think they definitely overpaid him just based on his production. But then again, it's like it's only $8 million. He has been 3 Pro Bowls, right? But for the season he had last year, coming off of that, I was expecting him to sign like a 1-year, $5 million deal or something like that. People forget he was a first-round pick, and he hasn't lived up to that expectation. You look at other first-round picks that have lived up to, like Myles Garrett, for example, his counterpart, his teammate on the other side. You know, that's what you expect from a first-round pick, that type of production. But the good thing in Cleveland's part for this is that it's going to take a lot of pressure, hopefully, off of Myles Garrett and free one of them up. You know, Jadevon Clowney back with the Titans last year, he played 8 games, I believe, and had no sacks. But if he comes healthy and he shows the force that he once was when he was a Pro Bowl caliber player, there's no way you're going to be able to double team him on one side and Myles Garrett on the other. So the good thing is it can, take some pressure off of Garrett and allow them to thrive on defense. But this is going to be a big year for him. He's been hurt the past few years, hasn't played, full 16 game seasons. Again, last year, only 8 games, didn't have any sacks. So it was a big disappointment. But he said it. He said, hey, man, I want to get back to my old self. I've been to the Pro Bowl. I want to prove that I'm still me and I can still dominate, and that, when I line up against somebody, like, they know I'm here. So for him, the main thing for him is going to be he has to stay healthy and just be consistent. And I think this is where a lot of people are thinking, like, hey, this guy needs to be a star, and he doesn't. You were a first-round pick, but, like, he's been in the league 8 seasons already. Like, he's been in the league a while now. So, like, this is his 3rd team in the past 3 years. Like, at this point, no one is looking for you to be that standout star. They just need you to be consistent. And I think for him, if he can stay healthy and show up first team, they just got rid of Sheldon Richardson. So they're really looking for him to play a lot of games this year and show up. So if he can stay healthy and stay consistent, he's going to make an impact on that defense, because, again, it's going to allow Myles Garrett to free up.
Do you think, does anybody, think that they could be a dominant duo, kind of like Marcus Ware and Von Miller, or Cameron Wake or Olivier Vernon? Like, could they get anywhere near that?
I don't think so. I don't think that Clowney's on that type of level, and I think his pass rushing ability is a little limited. Like, he's mainly like a bull rush kind of pass rusher. Like, he doesn't really have that many moves. That's why he's never had, I think, double-digit sacks in the NFL. So, I mean, it's a good pickup because it's a low risk, high reward. Like,
right.
It's only a 1-year deal. It's not like you're signing him for 4 years, $60 million, or on some Bud Dupree deal. Like, this is a 1-year deal. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you don't lose any sleep over it because he won't be here next year. So hopefully Clowney can just find his niche in the league before he just flames out. Kind of similar. I was going to compare him to Mario Williams, but I don't even think he's on that level. I don't know. I think he just needs to find his niche in this league. Like, he's not good at pass rushing, but everybody knows he's good at stopping the run. So if he can come in and help that run defense a little bit, and he might get a couple sacks just off of the fact that he's got an all-pro on the other side of him, then great. That helps the Browns out immensely. But he just has to stay healthy. Like, he's never been healthy in consecutive seasons. Like, he's always broken down. Like, last year, played 8 games, little production. Now, hopefully, he can come into this season healthy. I mean, even dating back to his early years when he had, I think, what was it, microfracture surgery on his knee. That's one of those surgeries on your knees that you're not going to last that long with a surgery like that. Like, you're going to break down over time. So hopefully he lasts a little bit for Cleveland. This is a chance for them to make a run. Like, they clearly see that they have a shot. There's a window there with this team, especially before you pay Baker to make a run at this. So why not take a risk with Clowney? Because, I mean, the guy has talent. He's got talent. It's just that you got to be, 1, healthy, and 2, productive on the field when you're out there. So we'll see.
Greg, are they getting anything out of Clowney?
Yeah, but I think Miles hit the nail on the head for me. I was listening to a podcast on the way back home tonight, and Monty Jones mentioned that he talked to a league source that told him that Jadevon Clowney's admitted to people that he should be better than he is. He didn't work on his pass rush move. He didn't refine his skills. He's a guy who's always gotten by on talent, so he shouldn't be in this position. He should be in a position where he's getting more money. He should be in a position where he's more wanted to run the league. Being picked up this late for a player of his caliber, there aren't many prospects who came out of college looking the way that Jadevon Clowney has from a physical profile standpoint. Like he's got one of the best physical profiles in the NFL history of any single defensive player. So he's got to be. It stinks because he's never realized his full potential, but he'll help them. I mean, he'll help them. He'll help stop the run, like he mentioned. He'll get a couple. I think he can get at least 5 sacks this year. I'd like to think that he could do that. Cleaning up off of what Myles Garrett leaves in his wake, because they're gonna have to double Myles Garrett. You know, so yeah, he's gonna help them. Is it a move that puts them over the top to get to the Super Bowl? No. Their issues were in their backfield more than anything else. I think they addressed that. They did a good job. We'll see how it all works out for them. But that team's a team that should be a dark horse Super Bowl contender. We'll see how it all works out. My main concern isn't really with Jadevon Clowney. It's more about how Baker plays, how the backfield plays, how the defensive backs are guarding the pass. They can do that well. They got a shot. They got a shot to make some real noise. But Jadevon's just another piece of the puzzle at this point. And it's sad to say that because he shouldn't be. He should be much more than that. But hey, that would you get lazy.
To hear that's actually the case, that he's admitted to people. That's sad to have that type of talent and to just let it go to waste. So hopefully he makes the best out of this opportunity. Like you said, because of his physical profile, I think he'll still get a couple more chances, but they're going to start drying up if you having seasons not getting any sacks, and that's literally your only job. They're not looking for you to come in and stop the run. Just get some sacks, cause some havoc, and if you can't do that, might be curtains for him. Transition, flag on the play. First one. West Virginia is offering $12K for people to move there, accept or decline.
That is exactly what I'd expect from West Virginia. You would have to pay people to move there. What is in West Virginia, yo? Shout out to my guy Wellington. That's my guy. That's my guy, bro. I love Wellington, bro. But what's in West Virginia?
That one college.
You know, if you're black, you're not moving to West Virginia, bro.
West Virginia is the latest place to offer a relocation incentive to remote workers, $10,000 parceled out in monthly grants for your first year in Morgantown, with a $2,000 bonus to settle in for a second year.
Morgantown's where the college is, yo. That's where West Virginia University is, I believe, right?
It is.
They got pay. Let me get this straight. So they're such a poor, impoverished state, redneck state, that they gotta pay people to move to the only attractive area they have, which is their college town. Just think about that, yo. Where else in the country do they gotta do that? Death Valley,
bro,
California?
I'm not moving to a town where Billy Joe Bob's hooking up with his cousin. Period. I'm not going.
I think that just about sums it up. That and there's certain places black folks should never move to. Although, so to a black person, this is not an appealing offer. Although I'm sure some people will take them up on it.
Yeah, just to let you mention where else is doing this. This program is actually a program that's going around in the country. It's happening in Vermont, and it's happening in places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Topeka, Kansas. So
people will go to Vermont. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Tulsa is like or Topeka, but people would definitely go to Vermont.
I know somebody person that went to Tulsa. Off this program.
Tornado season is crazy out there.
Hey, I'm not doing it.
You taking that money at a risk.
Next one. High school coach Barney Harris was shot and killed while trying to rob a Mexican drug cartel. Accept or decline?
Decline.
Where is that? Where did he find them? Oh, God. This is the most predictable storyline ever. He tried to rob a drug cartel.
High school basketball coach Barney Harris.
That doesn't even sound like a real name. Like that doesn't.
I was thinking it.
Yeah, I'm gonna decline that. It's sad, but I mean that's what happens when you mess with the cartel. So
Yeah,
He's lucky the hell that happened to him. The cartel don't play it. I'm surprised they didn't like skin him alive and put him on a meat hook.
The Sinaloa New Generation Cartel. So, yeah, I don't know what else he expected. Next one, where I don't know what this person expected. Somebody, allegedly, DeVincenzo Spriggs has a broken eye socket caused by Aaron Donald, allegedly. Accept or decline?
What man in their right mind is gonna fight Aaron Donald?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how true this is, but it was over bumps in the club / like you're in my seat type vibe that caused an alleged. We don't know if Aaron Donald did this, but allegedly a broken eye socket. If Aaron Donald bumps into me, if Aaron Donald wants to sit down, you can have my seat.
Yep, your seat.
My bad for you bumping into me. My bad for allowing you to bump into me.
Right, I'm apologizing.
You can have my bottles too.
I've never seen the way this man looks, bro. He was taking grown 350-pound men off and lifting them off the ground, like for real,
with one arm.
Exaggeration. He picks them up,
which is why he's more athletic than Zion. But let's go.
This nigga. He's never gonna let this go, bro.
I'm just saying, you over here talking about him like he's God. So
if Zion was playing football, he'd probably be doing the same thing. Just picking dudes up, throwing them out the club. Nah, crazy, bro. But anyways, no, Aaron Donald, what do you want to mess with? Aaron Donald got a face that says, "Don't mess with me, bro." Aaron Donald looked like he's capable of horrible things. That's what he looked like. So I don't know what that guy was thinking. He's lucky. All he broke was his eye socket.
Yeah, hopefully the situation gets fixed. Hopefully Aaron Donald doesn't have to miss any football or jail time or anything serious like that. And all the details come out to maybe it'll make sense why Aaron Donald allegedly broke a whole eye socket. It just sounds crazy.
Nah, it just came out that the accuser just apologized because he thought it was Aaron Donald who hit him, but it wasn't.
How you mistake a regular for Aaron Donald though? Unless you're trying to get some publicity.
It also makes sense though. Like I'm saying, it makes sense that Aaron Donald didn't hit him because if Aaron Donald hits you, you might die. So I don't think that
your whole jaw getting fractured, not just your eye.
Yeah, bro. And he might if he hits you in your chest, you're just caving in.
Cardiac arrest on site.
Cardiac arrest on site, bro. For real.
Man. So transition is NFC East. We wanted to talk about this, but we needed to save this for a little bit more detailed time because if the NFC East doesn't go, Greg predicts he might have cardiac arrest. So NFC East, who has the most pressure? We're not going to start in New York. We'll save them for last. And it's not a case where we're talking about saving the best for last. We're just saving them for last to give the most time.
Good clarification.
He is saving the best for last. He's literally saving the best for last, by the way.
Washington, whatever they decide to name their team, who has the most pressure in Washington?
That's a really good one.
I don't want to say Fitzpatrick because I mean he's just a German. He's just.
Oh, I think it is. It might be him. I was thinking him. But go ahead. You tell me who you think. I can tell you why I think it's Fitzpatrick.
Go ahead, because I don't think it's Ron Rivera. I don't think he has any pressure on him yet.
No, I don't think so. I think it's Fitzpatrick because the team, everyone raves about their defense, talking about how they're the best defense in the NFL. And with that defense, there's going to come some expectations that Ryan Fitzpatrick should win some games. And he's up and down. In fact, it seems like every time Ryan Fitzpatrick has a good year like he did last year, he follows up with a bad or subpar year than the next year. So if he's right on schedule with the way he does this thing, he should be bad this year. And that's not going to be acceptable with the defense that good. They have to put up points. They have pieces on offense, right? They have Terry McLaurin, they have Logan Thomas, they have guys out there. So So
I think they got Curtis Samuel too.
Curtis Samuel, they forgot they added him, right? So yeah, my point exactly, right? You have weapons to go out there and play with. Can you make sure this offense can carry its own weight? That pressure's on him. The defense is gonna do what the defense does. They're gonna rush the passer. I don't know so much about stopping the run per se, but they're gonna rush the passer. Their defensive backfield's okay. Nothing to be scared of. I'm certainly not scared of it. But they rush the passer. That's where the strength of their defense is, for real. The defensive line is formidable. So with that being said, they're gonna cause havoc on that side of the ball. Can Ryan Fitzpatrick carry his weight with the offense? Can he perform? It's about him. It starts in the Ryan Fitzpatrick. Unless they go draft a quarterback and trade up for a quarterback in this draft and get Trey Lance, something like that, or somehow get one of those guys. It's gonna fall on him to lead this offense and make sure that Taylor Heinicke doesn't get a chance here to have his Cinderella story. But when you leave your quarterback room in the hands of Ryan Fitzpatrick as your starter, you're not in a good position in the QB room. And that's why that team, as good as their defense is, they're not that scary. They're cute. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a cute quarterback, so it's fun to root for him.
How old is Ryan Fitzpatrick? Do we know?
How old is he?
Got to be like 36, 37.
Yeah, something like that.
I was going to say the same thing. Just besides Fitzpatrick, the whole offense, with how good the defense is, not saying they're top 5 or anything like that, but that's their strong suit. So if you had some more help on offense, maybe they win a playoff game last year. Maybe, because their defense is that good. But when you have your defense on the field more times than not, and if they're getting stops and you got a quarterback that's getting you a field goal or that's doing a 3-and-out, that defense is going to get tired. So even the best of defenses, if they're going to field 80% of the game, I don't care if they the Bears elite defense or that Ravens elite defense, they're going to get tired. So the offense in general has to step up this season for Washington, whatever they decide to choose their name to. So
hold on, who's the better quarterback between? Did they even get better at quarterback? Who's better between Alex Smith and Ryan Fitzpatrick? Who's better?
Fitzpatrick.
Really? So do you think they got better?
Fitzpatrick has 2 legs.
Huh?
Fitzpatrick has 2 legs.
Damn. Yeah. All right. Who's the next team? Who's the next team?
He's crazy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that.
I mean, it is a huge jump, but it's definitely an improvement.
Is Fitzpatrick a better thrower of the football than Alex Smith?
Yes.
Really?
He takes risks. I'd rather my quarterback take risks than just dump it off to the running back 20 times a game.
That's one thing we have in common. I hope that Fitzpatrick takes a lot of risks this season, especially when they play the Giants.
Be careful what you wish for.
The Giants, you know what? Let's just keep going. We'll get there. The pressure's on the offense. It's on. I think Fitzpatrick more than the offense, but I think the offense in general is a good answer. I don't know if everybody else agrees, but I don't see where else the pressure in Washington is going to come from outside of.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe a little bit of pressure on the front office to choose a name. Philadelphia Eagles. Where's the pressure at in Philly? Is it on Meek Mill to not tweet anything crazy? Like, where's the pressure at in Philly?
I think it's on the front office.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on the front office. Getting rid of Carson Wentz. It didn't work out. Obviously, they had issues, communication issues, trust issues. I don't think it's on Jalen Hurts because again, he the games that he did play last year, like he played well. He didn't play great, but he played well. He was a rookie, and he was going through those making rookie mistakes and whatnot. But again, he's coming into his second year. They're going to expect improvement out of him. They're not going to expect to win a championship. So I think it's on the front office to get him pieces in the draft. If you don't get Jalen Hurts pieces, April 29th, then like what are you doing to put him in a position to win and be successful and be the quarterback of your future? Because you don't want to get in a situation where after this season you're looking for another new quarterback. Especially, you just won a Super Bowl a few years ago. You want to be able to get back to that as quickly as possible. And if you made that big stink like you did last year, and you felt Jalen Hurts was your guy, hey, now you should be sticking with him. Now you should be building around him if that's the case. So I definitely think it's on the front office.
I think it's Jalen Hurts, honestly. I think that he didn't really show enough last year for them to be confident as to why you saw they were trying to make moves to trade up to get one of these top quarterbacks. But, like, he just has to show more this year. Like, he was an average quarterback in the games that he played last year, like 50% completion rate, completion percentage. I mean, he's athletic, so he has that going for him, but we got to see if he can be the guy. Because Bama didn't think he was the guy. They replaced him with Tua. And, I mean, Tua was shaky last year. So, I mean, Jalen, he can win. He's a winner. But I don't know. This might be a one and done, and they might be picking another quarterback next year. So he needs to kind of speed up that process of growth as a quarterback and make it happen this year, or else he'll be carrying the clipboard again.
Yeah, but make what happen? Like what does he need to make happen? Because does he need to show
he could do more than what he did last year. I mean,
they benched him for what? He needs to improve, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as your expectations are like, hey, he needs to win a first round playoff game or something like that. I mean, that's not a bad goal either. But again, like, you need weapons to be able to do that. You can't go ahead and expect him in his second year to come out and be a star.
Yeah, but he's a second round quarterback where they took him almost as a luxury last year, just in case Wentz went down again. And I mean, he was there. So I think that he's not the best option for them, but he's what they have going forward. So he needs to show that he can be that option going forward. I mean, I don't know if he is the guy in Philly. Like, he could, like I said, he could be done there in the next couple of years if he doesn't show more. Like last year, he had some weapons on that team, but they still benched him for who at the end. We're not gonna go there though. That was a time of the season last year, but he's got to show me something.
Hey, complete sidebar. We're obviously not talking about this division, but is Tua really the guy in Miami? Can Miami be confident that, hey, we should build around Tua for the next 5, 10 years, 15 years?
You got to give him more than 1 year to be able to make that decision. This is the year that he's able to show it. We can have this conversation after this season, but like when you interchanging him game after game with Ryan Fitzpatrick and not allowing him to get comfortable and build chemistry, like that, and he was coming off an injury last year, like, after this season, let's have that conversation. But like, you got to give him a full sample for us to be able to talk about that. I mean, did he play great last year? No, but did he play pretty well? Yeah, he played well. He won some games. But again, like when you're flip flopping him, all right, this game you're starting, next 2 games Ryan Fitzpatrick starting, you going back and you pulling him in the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter, just because you're down by a touchdown or 2 touchdowns and putting Fitzpatrick in, like, one that's going to take apart a quarterback's confidence moving forward. And, like, you don't allow them to work through their mistakes and get better.
Well, this front office is going to have to ride with this pick because they could have taken Justin Herbert, who's 10 times better than Tua. So if he's not close to what Herbert is, then front office getting fired. I mean, Brian Flores, I think players don't like him down there, so he might get fired anyway. But he's about to be on his way out too. So this could be something that Miami has all the pieces going forward, but it could be with other people making the decisions going forward. So
I think Fitzpatrick kind of was the best option last year. You had Shaky McShake in the background, so we know what Miami was trying to do. Fitzpatrick was actually playing well, like Greg said. This was maybe his year of scheduled. I play well, then the next year I play booty once I get a contract to go to a different team. But he actually played well, and they were actually in the playoff contention, and they definitely should have actually gotten the playoffs and would have gotten the playoffs if they never bought Tua. Hot take, whatever you want to say about that. If they never bought Tua in, he's in the playoffs.
So I think this is interesting. Hold on. You said something about Brian Flores. I think Brian Flores is one of the best young coaches in the NFL. I really do. He's turned that thing around. Those guys play hard for him. I don't know about, hey, I'm not questioning Miles' sources. I'm not questioning where you're reading it from. I don't know about how much those guys like him, but I know he is one of the best young coaches in the NFL. That Miami team turned it around real quick. But on Tua, I thought it was really interesting because as Chris is talking about Tua, I heard a bunch of reasons why you shouldn't give up on a quarterback after their first year. I heard a bunch of reasons why, qualifying reasons why Tua didn't play well. I heard a bunch of that stuff. I heard so much, but I love the energy, bro, because they don't keep the same energy for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I get the benefit of the doubt. But it's really crazy. I'm just sitting there listening. I'm like, okay, so you don't overreact when Tua plays badly. Not that I think that my guy has played badly. Badly is not the right word I'd use. Tua played badly, and Tua played badly, and it was like he just wasn't hitting the target. Like the games where he got taken out for Fitz, they handed Tua the job, and he gave it back to Fitz. He did. They weren't generating offense. He had like 90 yards through 3 quarters, and they would take him out. So it's Tua's fault that he was getting taken out of games. That wasn't something I had to worry about with my guy. Just saying. That was never a concern. It was never a concern about generating offense. I never really had to worry about that. All right, getting passing yards. So yeah, Tua has a lot to prove. If we're gonna talk about Tua, like if we're on that topic, because I know Miles, Miles is such a fraud. So Miles come on here, and he says, "Oh, Herbert's 10 times better than Tua." Blah blah blah. And he's
that's a fact because Herbert's top 10. He's better than Danny Dimes too. So don't bring Herbert in here.
No, don't do that because you changed the subject. Herbert is definitely better than Tua. We know this. No one's debating that.
So he's better than Danny Dimes too. Don't just say Tua.
You said that Tua is better than Daniel Jones, and now you over here trashing Tua. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. A guy who couldn't keep his job over Fitzpatrick. You know who Daniel Jones is beating out? Fitzpatrick. I promise you that. It's not even a conversation.
Right. Like it was hard to beat out Colt McCoy and whoever they had backing him up these last couple of years.
Daniel Jones, Hold
on. We transition into to the Giants. Let's talk about who has the most pressure on the Giants.
I want to talk about the Eagles real quick. That trash dumpster fire of a franchise. Let's talk about them real quick. They cheated the game by putting Nate Sudfeld in that game. The Giants should have been in the playoffs. That's fine. They cheated the Giants out of a playoff spot. It's totally okay. That's fine. If you look at who has pressure on them now, it's not Jalen Hurts. I don't even know why we're talking about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is. I don't know if the Eagles want to really invest in Jalen Hurts. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna give him all the pieces he needs to be successful. All right. We can't say that. None of us can say that. What I can say is they went and hired a coach who looked like he was on crack in his first interview that he ever had. So the pressure's on that coach. It's on him. It's on the front office, but mainly him. What's he gonna do? Because no one believes in that guy coming into the situation. They hired him. They bought him. He didn't have a suit. They called him up for an interview. He didn't even have a suit. So they all came in like beach wear and vacation clothes, right? Button down t-shirts and like the Hawaii themed t-shirts to make him feel comfortable, right? So you made him feel you're telling me if you did that for this guy, right? You made all these exceptions for this guy and you didn't interview Bieniemy, right? Who's still sitting there without a job. You're telling me that this guy must be the reincarnation of John
Bill Parcells,
of Madden himself, of Parcells, right? So there's a lot of pressure on him, right? You coming in a situation, that team is on the way down, they're declining, they're descending, they're not ascending, and so he's supposed to bring them to bring them to the promised land, right? Nick Sirianni is his name. Nick Sirianni, I don't know what his Sirianni is his name, I think it is. So he's supposed to be the guy, right? So that's the pressure. The pressure's on him. The pressure's on this guy. Let's see what he's about. Did y'all see his first press? Did y'all see his first interview?
Yeah. Horrible.
You might have to run a clip for the people, Tone. You might have to run a clip for the people when you win this clip because that's where the pressure lies. This is with him. They went out their way to hire this guy. Like they literally went out of their way to hire him. So I'm not talking about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is gonna be fine. The guy's a winner. If it's not gonna be in the Eagles, it'll be somewhere else. He'll get a chance. But I'm not convinced they're gonna put all the resources into making sure he's successful. I don't know that to be the case. I really don't. There's a lot of problems in that organization, and I think it's really interesting to see how it all plays out there, especially with him being the head coach. So that's that lies. We can get to the Giants now. We can talk about the Giants.
His first interview, it kind of reminded me of in the Bible when Moses told God, "I'm not good at speaking. I stutter," and God had to give him his brother Aaron to speak for him. The Eagles should have did the same thing. They should have a translator there to speak for him. This is what he meant to say. This is
right.
I should have made it seem like he could only speak Spanish, no hablo inglés, and then we could have had somebody else speak for him. But the Eagles organization, y'all want to go to the Giants, or y'all want to say the Giants last? Because we go to the Cowboys. I think that's pretty.
You can talk about them too. And I'm gonna say this too, bro. Like the bar's so low. The bar's so low for these white head coaches, bro. Could you imagine if they'd brought in Bieniemy and he looked like that? What would have happened? What would they be saying right now? Right, it's so low, and that was the worst first interview I've seen any head coach have since Adam Gase. When he looked like he was strung out on crack too. You saw how that worked out.
Hey, Miles know about that.
Miles know all about. I know he know all about it. Yo, bro, come on, man.
Yo, who has the most pressure over in Jerry World?
Oh, we're not going with the Giants. I feel like it's got to be Jerry, honestly. Like he keeps trying to stack the offense with playmaker after playmaker after playmaker, but he's not going to build that defense. Like he let Aldon Smith walk, another talented player that they gave him a chance last year, and imagine what he could do with another year under his belt. And then now in the draft, they're talking about trading up to get Kyle Pitts, which even that just it almost doesn't seem real. It seems like a dream, like one of those fake articles people write, like, "Oh, Cowboys should trade up for this guy." It's like, no, they shouldn't. They need a cornerback. They need healthy linebackers on their defense. They need their high-paid guys on defense to play well. So, and who's paid them? Jerry. He's paid all these guys, and it's amounted to them being middle of the pack in NFC. They always come in with all this hype, thinking that, oh, America's team, they're going to make a Super Bowl run this year, but they haven't made a run since Troy Aikman was quarterback. So I don't know. Jerry Jones he's not a very good owner. My friend is a Cowboys fan. I have another friend on here who's a Cowboys fan, but he's lost his way. But we can all agree that Jerry Jones makes some questionable decisions. I mean, he made a smart one signing Dak, but he made a dumb one signing Zeke to that long-term deal. I mean, that, as you can see, you don't need a high-paid running back to win in this league. So he doesn't use his money right. This team is worth so much, but he uses his money terribly. So I think the pressure's on Jerry Jones to build a winner, because I don't know. I don't see him. He's going to be the owner for years to come until he probably dies. But, I mean, I want to see him die with a ring than die going out like this. He's going out bad right now.
Well, before y'all go, something that you mentioned, America's team, a lot of people get upset with that. You really think about it? They are America's team. Look at America. Trash, mediocrity, and a whole bunch of debt. Don't know how to use their money well. They are America's team. We just had Trump for 4 years. So Dallas Cowboys are America's team. America ain't been great in how long? Y'all can go.
Oh, gee. That's well said.
That's a bar if I ever heard one.
That's facts. That's facts. The Cowboys' existential crisis is with Jerry Jones. So yeah, if you were talking about Jerry Jones, you always could move the problems back to him. The way Dolan's been a problem for the Knicks for God knows how long, up until this year with the emergence of Julius Randle, right? You talk about
RJ Barrett, but go on.
Anyways, talking about the Cowboys, talking about the Cowboys. Jerry Jones doesn't let football people make football decisions. He tries to make the big splash moves. He does things that will get people to talk. Last year, drafting CeeDee Lamb made no sense. Wide receiver was not a position of need. They didn't need to do that, and they had so many needs on their team, on their defense in particular, that it made no sense to go after the best player on the board in that situation. You have to draft for need. That's why we talked about this. What do you draft? Do you want to draft for need, or do you draft for the best player available? It all depends on your team situation. It's all about context. That the Cowboys had needs that were bigger than wide receiver, and they didn't address them. They went with the sexy pick, and now they play. And last year they got torn up on defense. And now you're talking about doing the same exact thing, making the same exact mistake, getting Kyle Pitts because he's the best player in the draft, right? That's where they're at with it. And he is the best player in the draft. He probably is. It makes no sense for them to go get him. It doesn't help them. They're going to get torn up defensively. They can't rush the passer. Okay, they gave away their best pass rusher. I don't even know what happened to Marcus Lawrence last year. I don't even think he got near the quarterback last year. How many sacks did that guy have? 6 or 7? For as much as he talks?
Not enough.
Not enough. For the money they gave him, they paid him. They paid that guy. So everybody underperformed on the defense. Jalen Smith had underperformed. Vander Esch is always hurt. Like they have a lot of problems. They have a lot of problems on that defense they have to address. And going to get Kyle Pitts doesn't solve them. So it is a front office issue. I don't put pressure on Dak. He's come back from an injury. He'll ease his way back into it. And with the offense they've put around Dak anyways, he's going to get sacked a lot. The offensive line is not the same. No one talks about that with the Cowboys. The offensive line is not the same since losing Travis Frederick and those guys. So he's going to play well. He's going to throw for thousands of yards, but they're going to lose a lot of games. And they're going to be mediocre because they don't play defense. And I don't know that they're going to address that defense in the draft. Maybe there's the Kyle Pitts rumors are smoking mirrors, and they're just trying to. I don't know what they're gaining out of it, but it should be interesting to see how they look this year. But the pressure is squarely on the mediocre coach they hired, and McCarthy, and then also the front office, who's also been mediocre, who have also been mediocre for a long time. But that coach McCarthy is mediocre. I'll flat out say that. I don't think that he doesn't do it for me. I don't think he does it for any Cowboys fans either. I don't think it was the right hire. But hey, there's a retread. Retreads often don't work in sports. But hey, y'all have fun with that.
Jerry Jones, even his son Stephen Jones. Nobody makes good decisions there. Stephen Jones, I guess, can make somewhat good decisions, but when your daddy runs everything and he has the ultimate say so, it don't matter. Like, I'm pretty sure this. I want to believe Stephen Jones isn't as dumb as Jerry Jones, but we won't see till Jerry Jones ascends wherever he's going. So till then, it's Jerry Jones.
Wherever he's going.
Look, I can't put no man in heaven or hell. I don't know where this joker going. Wherever he end up going, that's when we're able to see what Stephen Jones can do. Outside of that, I think it's going to be another great 8-8 season for Dallas, where it's a whole bunch of excitement. They're going to get 4 to 5 televised games. They're going to be on at Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be fans allowed back in, so Jerry Jones will get his money's worth. He's going to have everybody come in there and just suck. He'll sit in the press box. You'll see him on TV, excited for that first down, but they're down for 20 points. Usual Dallas Cowboys stuff. Transition to the least important team probably out of this whole conversation. The New York Football Giants, who play in New Jersey but celebrate everything in New York. Greg, who has the most pressure in East Rutherford, not New York, East Rutherford?
Talk to us, Greg.
You know, it's so funny. Before I go, reason why Tone even framed it like that, or the least important team, is because he's mad that they're not in New York. If they had been the New York Giants and been playing in Manhattan or something like that, then maybe he'd feel differently about this team. Maybe Miles would feel differently about this team. Maybe Miles wouldn't be a Jets fan, which makes no sense, right? Maybe he'd be a Giants fan. Maybe he would be.
Hell no.
The city, right? But yeah, let's talk about it. So the Giants, who has the most pressure on them? I think the answer to that question is pretty easy. Is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, they've invested on the offensive side of the ball, getting Kyle Rudolph, getting Kenny Galladay for him, who I think is going to be, I don't think people understand how big of a move that is and how much it's going to help Daniel Jones. His numbers are going to be so much better this year because they have him. So the offense as is, minus the draft, makes him a better player. But the pressure's on him. They fully expect him to take the jump this year to being a quarterback that's at least top 12 in the league. I think he easily will make that jump. I think it's going to happen. You're going to see it. You're going to see the transition. He took care of the ball better towards the second half of the year. So it's about him. It's about him. It's squarely on his shoulders. I don't think it's about Joe Judge. Joe Judge is a bright, up-and-coming young coach in this league. I have a lot of faith in him. I don't see any reason why someone would have doubt in Joe Judge and his ability. So it's about Daniel Jones. The pressure lies there as well. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. I know that's not as much as you asked me a simple question, so I'm not going to go into a whole big view of the team. Not yet. But I'm going to let you guys chime in. And if
I think that was a fair response.
Quick question. I don't know if you heard, the Giants are currently hosting free agent cornerback safety Jason McCourty.
Oh, I know.
What do you think about if they signed him? What do you think about that signing possibly?
It'd be amazing. The Giants are doing this the right way. They're going to have the best DB room in the NFL. I don't think that's really a question. They're going to have the best DB room in the NFL without having the best defensive back in the league. They don't need Jalen Ramsey to have the best DB room, to have the best set of defensive backs, to have the best secondary in the NFL. You don't. It's really going to be James Bradbury is incredible. First of all, Bradbury is incredible. Adoree Jackson's a huge upgrade. You have Xavier McKinney, who didn't play much last year, but when he did, looked phenomenal. And they're going to be able to get him around defense even more. They're so versatile back there. They have guys that can rush the passer. They got Jabril Peppers, who can rush the passer, play linebacker too, and play deep safety on the hashes and guard deep throws. Oh my God! And they have Logan Ryan. Yo, they're so versatile. They're gonna be able to mix coverages so well. They're gonna be able to play more man, which gives them more. They're gonna be able to rush the passer more, which is why I think that people talking about the edge rushers for the Giants is a little overstated, because they're gonna be able to send pressure from anywhere. You're not gonna know where it's coming. They're going to send it from Darnay Holmes blitzing in the slot. They're going to send it from – and I love Darnay Holmes, by the way, young and upcoming player. Like, the Giants' defense is going to be legit this year. Legit. It was really good last year. Miles smiling and smirking and stuff. I don't know what he's smirking about. There's nothing funny about the Giants' defense. And they were really good last year. All right? So, that and then you add McCourty, that veteran in there. I don't expect him to play big, a lot of snaps, a high snap number, but I expect him to be a big part of the defense. And he's a guy that can help in and protect against injuries. They're going to have the best defensive secondary in football. And in a league where they throw the ball now more than ever, you need that more than you need pass rushers. When quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds or even less than that, your pass rushers are a little bit diminished. Chase Young didn't sack Daniel Jones last year. I didn't see it, okay? Like, the value really is with a good DB now. DBs are more important than premier edge rushers. They just are, because they throw the ball all the time. If you can't guard that, if you can't play man and hold up, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good your pass rush is, because they're going to tire out. So the Giants are building this thing the right way. They really are. I'm excited about it. The McCourty addition would be huge, and I expect the deal to be done tomorrow and for Giants fans to be celebrating again. Because as we know, the theme this offseason is when you go into the Giants building, you don't leave without getting signed. It just seems to be the way it works.
So, something that you just mentioned, you're raving and ranting about your defensive back, right? Just looking at your schedule, we're going to be able to see how elite this defensive backfield is.
Okay.
Start off in Chicago. Damn. Quarterback situation is shaky.
That's a dub.
Dallas.
A dub.
Y'all schedule tough. In Dallas, in Kansas City, Patty Mahomes.
That's tough. Okay. That's tough.
At Los Angeles, play the Chargers. At New Orleans, y'all going to see Jameis.
So, we're good. That's a dub.
That defense is elite. I mean, Jameis, the Saints.
The offense will be elite when they draft Devontae Smith and they have Kenny Galladay and they have Shepard and they have Ingram. They have Kenny Rudolph, Rudolph out there
Kyle
too. Kyle Rudolph, excuse me. Yeah, him. Excuse me. Respect to him. I like our.
I don't get tested. I'm just.
We don't get tested. We don't get tested.
So we'll see.
Jameis has got laser eye. I don't know what situation.
Oh, I can't wait too. Y'all play. The elite game manager of Tom Brady. Y'all played him in Tampa.
Oh, that's a dub. It's a dub. You don't want to see it.
Y'all play
against. You beat him last year.
Y'all play against y'all top 10 favorite quarterback, Stafford, also this year. So We'll see how y'all do.
That's gonna be a tough one, but that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a much tougher game. I don't expect to win that game. I'll be honest with you. But I think the Giants are a team that are gonna finish above 500, get me 9-10 wins, get in the playoff as a wild card, or maybe win the division, right? Depending on what happens to Washington and how Ryan Fitzpatrick plays. That's my prediction for the Giants this year. That's where I think things sit. I think it's all about Daniel Jones taking that next step, and I have no doubt he's gonna do it. No doubt. With the pieces they got, Daniel Jones is one of the best touch passers in football, bro. And you gave him one of the best back shoulder option threats in the NFL. You gave one of the better deep threats down the field, one of the best 50-50 ball contested catch guys in the NFL and Kenny Galladay. That's the biggest addition they're gonna make. If you add Devontae Smith, just working the slot, he's gonna be one of the best route runners in football off the rip, like right away. Miles shaking his head, saying what? Miles shaking his head.
I'm shaking my head because you guys aren't gonna take a receiver. Or
you want to bet? Yeah, they will, bro. Yo, think
how
about
much
it.
You want to bet? I bet you they're not gonna take a receiver in the first round.
Pause. I don't think you should do that bet. You know he has Joe Judge's number on speed dial, so he really might know that they taking a wide receiver. That's not.
They're not.
The old linemen aren't gonna fall. The only way the Giants don't take a receiver at 11 is if Slater or if Penny Sewell falls to 11. We both know that's not going to happen if the Bengals aren't stupid, which they might be. So we
watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. I'm actually reading an article right now on Penny Sewell, and ESPN is talking about why it would be a mistake if the Bengals pass on him. So that's what I'm reading right now. But go ahead.
Slater's not going to fall to 11. The old linemen in this draft are premier players. They're going to be really good. They're not falling to the Giants at 11. So the Giants. So who's more likely to fall? Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, and you'll have to pick between him and Surtain maybe. The Giants don't need Surtain if they go sign McCourty on top of all this. The Giants don't need Surtain. The best bet is taking Devontae Smith. He's a Calvin Ridley type player. He's like Calvin Ridley. You know how good Calvin Ridley is? He's insane. Yo, they don't even talk about him nearly enough. The Giants get him on top of what they have. Now you really doubling up, and you're really banking on Daniel Jones's development and him being a superstar this year. That's what's gonna happen, bro. Yo, they gonna get Devontae Smith. Just watch. It's the most reasonable pick too. The edge rushers in this draft aren't that good. Micah Parsons.
They're not to take that high, but I also don't think that you need to take one of the receivers just because you feel the need to. I think that this class is also deep enough that you can wait to the second round to take a receiver.
If you don't,
I think Rashad Bateman might not be a first round pick. He might drop to the second round. So you never know. If you were able to get a lineman and then bounce back and get Bateman or Tony or one of those other receivers, but in the second round, I think that would be worth way more than taking 170 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, that don't seem to stop Ridley. Him being
Ridley,
small.
come on.
And he never lost in man coverage. In college, he never lost in man coverage. Like, he never lost in press. When they press him at 170 pounds, he just gets off the line. He's got the best release. He's got one of the highest PFF grades for any wide receiver coming out of the draft, period. I talked myself into Devontae Smith.
I don't think he's going to drop that far. One.
No, really?
I don't think he's making it to 11. And I don't think you guys should take Waddle either.
So you think in a draft where they're going to take 4 quarterbacks in the top 10, Devontae Smith or Jalen Waddle not falling to the Giants?
Who's to say there are going to be 4 quarterbacks taken? I don't think Mac Jones will go top 10.
Okay, cool. 4 quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, right at 3. Your 4th quarterback would be who? Is it Mac Jones is the 4th they're talking about? Or who's another one? I'm missing somebody.
There's 4 there.
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
So those 4 guys going top 10, my guy.
Yeah, and then other teams are going to take receivers. I could see the Panthers taking Devontae Smith. Honestly, they just lost Curtis Samuel. It makes sense.
The Panthers not taking Devontae Smith. I would be shocked if they took Devontae Smith, to be quite honest with you.
Why would that be a shock? Like, give Sam as many weapons as possible.
They might go receiver. They might go O-line, which is more valuable. And their O-line is shaky. If they take Devontae Smith, I'm happy. Understand this. The cool thing about being a Giants fan right now is that I don't need Devontae Smith. He's a luxury. He's icing on the cake. if I get Slater, if they're stupid enough to let Slater fall to the Giants, let's take Slater. We'll get a wide receiver in the next round. We'll get Tony. That's cool. I'm not pressed for nothing because the Giants have won free agency. That's the cool thing about being a Giants fan. I know.
Right, so how much are we betting that they take a receiver in the first round?
I don't have to make that bet.
Okay, see, because you don't feel that confident now. I think he was talking a lot 2 minutes ago.
I think they take him. But I also think that the reality of it is because the Giants won free agency, they can do whatever they want, and it's a good move. They're gonna pick the right guy, no matter what it is. I can celebrate that. But my dream scenario is to get Devontae Smith. My dream scenario.
I say trade down.
He won't do that. I want him to. They won't. Gettleman doesn't do it.
Yo, I agree with Miles. Y'all should draft a lineman if possible. If you're drafting a wide receiver that high, that might be too much pressure on Danny Dimes to perform well.
Oh my God.
He already has enough, and
that's a horrible reason to take a wide receiver.
I are banking on him actually performing well this season. If he does not do what you're predicting, trust and believe. All of our followers and everybody on this show will be bringing this back up because y'all are banking on Danny Dimes to really perform well. We got all the weapons. That don't mean a darn thing. He still got to perform.
He will perform.
But most people don't. I don't see him top 12, 10 as you're predicting.
So, I think
the team is going to be good, but you might see what you're saying about Tom, the same with Danny Dimes. He might be a game manager next year.
Hell no. In a league where Tannehill can be top 12 in the NFL, you tell me Daniel Jones can't? He's way more.
Well, he's not better than Tannehill.
Who?
Tannehill's
who?
He's not better than Tannehill.
Yeah, as of right now, because and mind you, Tannehill was horrible in the Dolphins. Went to a situation where he was loaded up with good receivers, had a good running game. What happened? It all turned around. You were giving and he's gonna have Saquon Barkley back fully healthy with an offensive line that was plugging up holes all over the place last year for Gallman to run. What do you think Saquon's gonna do with those holes? He's cribbing all those. He's cribbing those. He's going to the house. Yo, just wait, bro. Just wait. If in a league where Tannehill could be a top 12 quarterback, in a league where Kirk Cousins can be a top 12 quarterback one year, in a league where Jimmy Garoppolo can be considered a top 12 quarterback when things were going right for him in San Francisco, right? That Daniel Jones can be a top 12 quarterback, and I say fairly easily. He's more talented than all three of them.
He can be, but we'll see what happens. Last topic of the episode: Jamal Murray got injured, out for the season. Do y'all think it is safe to say the condensed season is actually causing heightened injuries for the NBA, or is it just really another season of injuries?
Condensed season. The condensed season is definitely at play here, for sure. These guys, I mean, it was the shortest offseason in NBA history, and they did it for the bag. I know the NBA did it for the bag, but now they're paying for it on the back end. That Denver team was supposed to be interesting to watch in the playoffs. Now it just changes the entire scope of the playoffs. It's a much easier ride to the finals. It just is. It's a much easier ride. I mean, I don't think the Clippers really scare anyone, even with the addition of Rajon Rondo. You think about the Suns. They're a scary team, but they're still just young enough to where they can be taken advantage of. And they're missing a piece. There's something missing in that equation. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I think they can beat a Clippers team, but if you're talking about just the way it affects the playoffs, the way it affects the viewership in the playoffs, it's gonna matter. That the Denver Nuggets faithful, they're out of it. They're out of it. The Heat have been suffering injuries all year. Tyler Hero's been hurt all year. You don't think Tyler Hero's injuries coming out of college where he was playing 20 games a year to now making a jump where he played 82? He played easily over 100 games. Right, going to the bubble and everything like that. They went to the finals, and now he's been hurt all year. His performance is down. He looks like he has no legs out there. You don't think there's anything to do with that? Yeah, he's young, but these guys he's never played that many games before in a condensed period. Like, this is directly affecting the performance of the Miami Heat too. Right? Like, it really is. If people want to talk about Tyler Hero's performance, Tyler Hero is way better than this. We've seen him what he can do, but like that's just an example. I'm just honing in on that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just affecting people from an injury perspective; it's affecting their performance in the court because their bodies don't have enough time to recover from a 100-game season if you played to the finals, and even from an 82-game season where you're just making this jump. Only teams that aren't affected by this are the bad ones, like the Knicks last year. They get like a long break. Now they refreshed, they rejuvenized, and they're back out here. And
what about the Nets though? The Nets,
huh?
I had a break too.
The Nets were in the playoffs.
But I didn't play 100 games.
I'm not saying we did, and the Nets look fine. The Nets look fine.
KD look
fine.
Harden played a lot more games. Harden played a lot more games. You talking about Harden? Harden's hamstring injury it could be directly tied to the fact that he came back much sooner than you.
Oh yeah, because he got to carry more of the load because you got KD was out for most of the year already, and
KD's in special.
Kyrie has played over the last 2 seasons since bringing in Brooklyn. I think the same amount of games that we've all played.
You think he's funny, bro? Kyrie, the Nets are a special case scenario. I don't even use him as an example, honestly. Harden's the only really applicable example to this conversation because Harden played in the playoffs last year and it was grueling.
But you don't think him having to carry that load and him being actually a player more of like a LeBron James that if he's healthy, he's going to suit up, unlike some other players in this league. And when you got to carry the team, he was an MVP conversation. So that's a lot on his plate on a load. And you ain't got your stars with you. He ain't got it. And if they decide to play, they healthy, or if they're not on personal breaks, maybe Harden doesn't get injured.
It's possible that's the reason why Harden's in. I'm not saying that's not the case, but I'm also saying that the shortened off season, if we're talking about it from that perspective, that matters in it too. That because Harden's carried the load in Houston for years. What's so much different? The play style changed, but he was carrying the load. He was a high usage rate player in Houston, so I think that's part of it too. But yeah, you make a good point. I mean, you got Kyrie using all the PTO in the world, and you got KD who you got to be careful with. So I understand him being hurt. It makes a lot of sense. But I just think across the NBA, LeBron's injury has nothing to do with the short break. LeBron's a freak. Some guy just fell on his leg the wrong way. Don't make it about his age. AD's injury could be directly correlated to last year. That's wear and tear. That's a soft tissue injury in his calf. So that's directly correlated to the short offseason, them winning the championship, having to turn around real quick and play intense basketball almost right away. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, the NBA teams, I heard they're upset about it. GMs are upset about it. They have the right to be. Denver has the right to be upset about it. I get it. It was a freak injury with Jamal, but at the end of the day, it's no one's gonna feel bad for you. You got to go out there and play, and it's tough to see this league's best players go down. I just hope that we get to see most of these guys healthy and get these fun playoff matchups that we all been waiting for as well. We'll see.
Turning the conversation, let's talk about Denver. What does this mean for Denver and their organization? Jamal Murray, his injury, the recovery time is a year. So he will be back next year around this time. So all of next year, they're not having Murray. They're not having him for the rest of the playoffs. What does this mean for the Denver organization who I think it's safe to say they were in the conversation and they had hopes of championship aspirations? So what does this mean for Denver for the playoffs and next year?
I think this just means it's a bigger load on Jokic's plate, honestly, because I mean, if he didn't already have a big enough load on his plate now, Jesus, now that Murray's out, they really need him to play like an MVP. So it changes their dynamic because Jamal Murray, I mean, he's an up-and-coming star in this league. He's pretty good. He might have been, gassed because of the bubble last year, but I think that they can still do something in the playoffs. Like, they still got pieces. Like, this team is deeper than just Jamal Murray. Like, they just traded for Aaron Gordon. They still have Monte Morris, who is a solid backup point guard who can definitely run the point. He's not Jamal Murray, but, I mean, you can't really replace a guy like Jamal Murray just like that. So I think that this knocks him out of the title hunt, at least for this year until they get Jamal back. But who knows? You could compete still in this league. I don't know if they'll do a bubble situation for the playoffs, but COVID could be another thing that happens. Like Zach LaVine just got it, or he's in the protocol. So that wipes him out for 2 weeks. That could happen to anybody in the playoffs. So that's another factor that you got to factor into the playoffs too. But this is a big loss for them. Like Jamal Murray, I don't know. He's out for the next probably year and a half. I don't think they bring him back maybe until the end of next year, if that. So now you got to kind of make do with what you got.
Yeah, at that point too, when they bring him back, it might be a wash. If it's not until, May of next year, it's like, hey, the season ends in June. Why risk bringing him back, right? So it's going to be a lot of players having to step up. Obviously, Aaron Gordon, being new to that team, is going to have to make his presence known and whatnot. But it's just crazy how these injuries can happen and like literally change the trajectory of the course of your season, even over the course of the next few years. We were literally just talking about not him, but the team a few episodes ago. Weren't we saying, within the next 2 to 3 years, we could potentially see them competing for a finals championship? And then boom, this happened. So whoever voted on that poll, sorry to tell you that you might not be seeing them in the finals anytime soon.
Facts. Sad to say, Murray getting injured. Hopefully, he comes back, has a speedy recovery. Everything is good. He is healthy for Denver. They're on a 2-game winning streak since. I mean, they beat Houston tonight, but it's Houston. 128-99. Jokic stepped up. At the end of the day, it's Lakers in 6. Y'all know the vibes. Bench mob, if you stay ready, you're gonna gotta get ready. That's including on the court. Stay ready. Condensed schedule, non-condensed schedule. Lakers in 6. We out. Peace.